everyone, and welcome to the Lake Charles Civic Center in Lake Charles, Louisiana, as the Houma Bayou Bucks travel to take on the Lake Charles Landsharks in exciting National Indoor Football League action. Hello, everyone. I'm Ronnie Rance, along with former LSU quarterback Alan Risher. Well, today is a tale of two teams headed in opposite directions. The Lake Charles Landsharks are coming off an exciting win a week ago. They're 5-0. They're the cream of the crop in the NIFL. On the other side, the Bayou Bucks are desperately trying to get a win. They started the season 2-0 and have lost 3 straight, Allen, on what has turned into a tough 4-game road swing.
Well, tonight's game is really a story of two teams going in opposite directions. The Bayou Bucks obviously have dropped 3 in a row. The Landsharks are coming off a huge win against an undefeated Beaumont team last week, Ronnie, and are really riding high, so they're expecting big things out of their club this evening.
Well, today you're going to see 2 outstanding quarterbacks for the Bayou Bucks, a name that's familiar to Louisiana football fans. Herb Tyler, who was signed earlier this week, the former LSU quarterback, is going to be taking the signals for the Bayou Bucks.
Well, Herb's been a very effective indoor quarterback. He played in the Arena Football 2 League with me a couple years ago. He had a little bit of an injury last year, but he's going to bring a field generalship and some quickness and leadership to this football team that should be a real positive for the Bucks tonight, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak.
For the Landsharks, they're led by Ted Robinson, who is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's undefeated as quarterback for the Landsharks, 14-0, going back to a year ago.
Well, you know, he's 33 years old. He's been around, but I tell you what, he's been a very effective indoor football quarterback through the years, and you're going to look for some good things out of Ted Robinson tonight. He's very experienced, and he'll lead the Landsharks in a very solid fashion.
Big game coming up. We've got the starting lineups and the kickoff right after this. An exciting National Indoor Football League action. Between the Houma Bayou Bucks and the Lake Charles Landsharks is brought to you by Copeland's Restaurant of New Orleans, locations in Houma and in Lafayette, and by the Cardiovascular Institute of the South, and by Terrebonne Parish. Welcome, everyone, to the Lake Charles Civic Center in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Ronnie Rance along with former Tiger quarterback Alan Risher. And welcome to another exciting National Indoor Football League contest between the Lake Charles Landsharks and the Houma Bayou Bucks. Just had the coin toss, and the Bucks will receive. This is a big game, Alan. Two teams last year, when these two teams played each other, the Landsharks had the better of it. They won both games a year ago. And this year, this is the first meeting. They'll meet twice. They'll meet later in the year in Houma, but for Houma, they desperately need a win right now.
Well, it's a key division game for Houma tonight. Obviously, they're 2-3 going into the ball game on a 3-game losing streak. The Landsharks are 5-0, and if the Bayou Bucks can come out tonight and play a good football game, cut this thing to a 2-game lead, it's a big spread. You know, the difference between 4 and 2 tonight based upon the outcome of the ball game.
Well, head coach Jack Phillips and his staff have really shaken it up this past week. They've replaced Will Birch as the starting quarterback. Herb Tyler will call the signals, the former LSU Tiger who played last year for the Bayou Bucks before injuring himself, and he'll get his first start of the year in 2003. So Jack Phillips and his staff trying to shake it up a little bit with a new QB.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Herb plays tonight. He hadn't played in a real organized game in well over a year, so he's coming off an Achilles tendon injury that happened, you know, early in the season last year during the NIFL campaign with the Bayou Bucks. So I'm sure there's going to be a little rust out there, Ronnie. We'll see how Herb reacts, but, you know, the guy's been a winner all his life. He's a field general, and I'm sure he's going to step up to the plate tonight and provide a good performance.
Well, Beard and Bates are back to receive the kickoff. And there's Clint Stanford, who drills it deep to Beard, who'll take it out. He's at the 10, he's at the 15, got a little running room and a good tackle. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Bayou Bucks. At quarterback, as we mentioned, Herb Tyler. Running back will be Michael Burks, the former Auburn Tiger. Wide receiver, Kevin Hurd. Kenny Causey, number 88, very good player. Clint Schneider is the third wide receiver, number 81. On the offensive line, Lane Evans, a former LSU Tiger. Offensive line, Troy Davis at center. And at right tackle, Mick Rodemeyer. And the Bucks offensively, they've been pretty happy with the offensive line play. They feel like they've got 3 special receivers, and then you add Bates in there, gives you 4 good receivers. They just need better quarterback play.
Yeah, and I'm sure Herb Tyler is going to provide that this evening.
Here's Tyler in the backfield. He gives it off to Burks, and we'll see that a lot tonight. As Burks picks up about 4, bring up about 2nd and 6. Let's take a look at the Landsharks defensively. Myron Turner in the middle, at defensive end. Nose guard Mike Warren, number 95. Defensive end, former Indianapolis Colt Kendall Shello, played a few seasons in the NFL. Darnell Lee at linebacker, number 9. Number 32, Butch Monticello at linebacker. Anthony Porter, Corey Stewart, and Warren St. Junius at safety. Landsharks with a lot of experience on their defensive line. Here's Burks again, this time on the left side. He's got a first down and more. He's taken out at about the 17-yard line.
A little bit acclimated to the ball game, a couple handoff to Burks. I think what you'll find in NIFL, you'll find the running attack really a big part of the offensive scheme.
You see Burks getting wrestled out of bounds there to help take Darnell Lee came in to help out on the tackle. So Burks, 2 nice runs. Then the Bucks move the chains on the ground for a first down. A couple of players in motion. Scheckschneider in motion to give to Burks again on the right side. Nowhere to go this time. And the Landshark defense swarms over to make the tackle.
A great job by the defensive end right there. Shello containing the play. Landshark swarming on defense right there. Really no gain on the play.
Lee, Porter, Monticello all over there to keep Burks to a minimal gain, about a half yard at best. So it'll bring up about 2nd and 9.
Waiting on Herb Tyler's first pass. It should be interesting here.
Well, not only will it be interesting for Bayou Buck fans, but I think for the coaches. This team offensively has a lot of weapons, and they're hoping that Herb Tyler can be the answer. Scheckschneider goes in motion on the right side. Tyler back to pass this time, throws to Scheckschneider, but a real short pickup, only about 2 or 3.
Just a quick hitch to the outside to Scheckschneider. Herb took a 3-step drop. Got it quick out there to 81. Scheckschneider, big tall receiver. Picked up a short gain, but it put him in a place of about 3rd and 7.
Well, probably a right here, something safe, and Scheckschneider is 6'3", 212 pounds. A lot of hits over the middle. And there's they had the draw to Burks, but the play was blown dead.
I believe it was offside on the Bayou Bucks run. You know, sometimes a quarterback in the indoor football league, you can have 2 people in forward motion. I believe that time the forward motion man got a little bit ahead of the snap count, and Herb didn't get it timed up, and there's a little bit of offsides.
You're surprised that call isn't made more than it is, because when you've got in the National Indoor Football League, you can have as many as 3 players in motion at one time. Only 2 can be going towards the line of scrimmage, but 3 can be going in motion. So, surprised you don't get that call. Yeah. That's a confusing.
Imagine being a quarterback trying to keep an eye on 3 guys and make sure they're not offside.
So now 3rd and almost 10 for Herb Tyler. Scheckschneider goes towards the line. That time, Bucks might have got away with 3 guys going towards the line of scrimmage. And incomplete to Kenny Causey. They tried to get Kenny Causey down around the 10-yard line, but he couldn't come up with it.
That was good protection by the Bayou Bucks offensive line. Herb had time to stand back there and throw. Really didn't have anybody really open to throw the ball to. A little bit low into the outside, incomplete, 4th down. Looks like they're going to try and kick a field goal.
Well, Chris Stropolo, the former Nichols State Colonel, will come on to attempt the field goal attempt. This one will be about a 34-yarder. You can rush in the indoor game. We've seen some blocks early on. That one almost blocked, but up and good. A nice field goal by Chris Stropolo, who drills it through the middle. So we'll take a timeout as the Bayou Bucks lead it 3-0 early in Lake Charles. Welcome back, everybody, to the Lake Charles Civic Center. The Houma Bayou Bucks take the opening kickoff and go right down the field, and Chris Stropolo drills about a 34-yard field goal, and the Bucks are on the board first to take a 3-0 lead. Stropolo to kick off. Back to receive is Jermaine Martin, who takes it at about the 5. Breaks a tackle. He reverses field to the left side. He's got a little bit of room. And a nice return out to about the 17-yard line, brought down by Chris Beard. take a look at the Landshark offense. Ted Robinson, the quarterback, a good one. David Winbush at running back, number 20. We'll talk about him later. Jermaine Martin, the former McNeese State Cowboy, is number 2, the wide receiver, had a good return. Earl Verschere, the wide receiver. Anthony Whitehead also back there, number 6. Left tackle Reggie Nelson. Center is Derek Lewis, and the right tackle is Major Griffin.
Good job by the coverage team right there for the Bayou Bucks. They did a good job getting down there on a short kickoff. Had a missed tackle by Sutton. Martin was able to get away from that, pick up a nice gain out to the 17-yard line.
Well, Sullivan Beard did a nice job just to get down and make the tackle, but we'll talk a lot about Jermaine Martin and call his name a bunch. He's a good one. There's the toss back to Winbush on the right side and nowhere to go.
Nice job by Roger Green out there at left end. Franklin Thomas, the guys up front, really doing a super job stopping the run right there.
Here's the Bayou Bucks defense. Roger Green, number 50, in on the tackle there. Nose guard is Franklin Thomas, who is a very good veteran player. Andre Reed is the defensive end. Tim Betts, the linebacker, number 8. He'll be all over the field. And the Bucks going with a little nickel package. Terrell Sutton, Sullivan Beard, Drew Hemel, and Emmanuel Bentley all in the secondary for the Houma Bayou Bucks. Robinson back to pass. Little touch pass down field, almost caught. They tried to hit Jermaine Martin down at about the 2-yard line. And
good job by Robeson right there. You can tell Robeson's been in this league a long time. He's 33 years old. He's got great mechanics. Threw a nice ball down there. It should have been caught by Martin.
Should have been caught. Hit him right in the hands. And Robinson is a guy who has been around the league a long time. He has played in Europe, in the World Football League, in the European Football League. He's played in AFL, AF2. He has seen it all, and he's a good one. He's 14-0 as a Landshark starting quarterback. That time a little bit of pressure by Reed, and Robinson overthrows the intended receiver. He tried to hit Earl Verschere over the middle, but good pressure by Green.
Super job by the Bucks defense here on the first possession, Ronnie. It's something they really need. You know, when you're on a 3-game skid, you're on the road, trying to get a little momentum in the game. You got a nice field goal early in your first drive. A super job by the defense right there.
It'll bring up 4th down. So a run, 2 incomplete passes, and now a 4th down, which will be a long field goal attempt. About 44, 45 yards. Kick is up, it is on the way, and just off to the right side. So Clint Stanford, the former Northwestern State Demon kicker, a good one, gave it a run, but it came up just a little bit short. So the Bucks will take over on possession. And in the National Indoor Football League, when you try a field goal, if you kick it out of the end zone and miss, you get it first down at your 5-yard line. So just like a punt.
Yeah, you know, it's just like a punt. There's no punt in indoor football. You know, a little bit short on the field goal attempt. The Bayou Bucks will be at their 5-yard line. But, you know, indoors you can score on any play. So it's a, 45-yard instant one-play drive potential. You know, you call those stops. You try to get as many stops in the game as you can. And with the Bucks coming up with a big defensive stand right there, they really need to capitalize on this drive.
And last week the Landsharks put over 60 on the board against Beaumont. So they've done that a couple of times this year, so they're very capable of scoring a lot of points. So for their defense, for the Bayou Buck defense to come out and go 3 and out, that was huge.
Yeah, Robeson looked a little shaky right there. Got a little pressure from the Bucks defensive line. Franklin Thomas, those guys up front did a nice job putting a little pressure. And I don't care what league you're playing in, Ronnie, and trust me, I know pressure in the quarterback is going to make you think a little bit. It's going to make you timing throwing the ball down the field just off a little bit. Not a good throw by Robeson on 3rd down.
Well, the Bayou Bucks looking for Herb Tyler to lead their way, and officials have called a real quick timeout. So we'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back as well from Lake Charles, Louisiana, the Bucks leading 3-0.
I am the fishing god.
Just ask any of my ex-wives. Deep sea, coastal, inland, brackish, or freshwater. I just can't get enough. But last month, just outside of New Orleans, in a place called Houma, Louisiana, I found fishing paradise. They have every type of fishing you can imagine, plus the most liberal limits and reasonable rates I've ever found. So if you want it all and all in one place, just call or visit them online. Houma really is the best catch of my life. But don't tell my ex-wives I said that.
I am the road warrior. I rev up that RV.
Or you remember the chameleon in Houma, Louisiana?
Woman, that was a huge alligator.
Right.
Somebody sure enjoyed all that Cajun cooking.
And somebody kicked up his heels with that pretty young Cajun
Young,
girl.
she was 72.
I know.
That was a great vacation. Thank goodness we called.
No, we got online.
Well, either way, we got a lot of info about
plantations, museums.
Yeah, all that artsy stuff you like.
And Mardi Gras.
Yeah, you sure got an awful lot of beads.
I know.
Well, while we were away, the Bayou Bucks ran one play, and it'll be called back to the holding. But here was the play. It was a handoff to the right side that Michael Burks cut back to the left and had a nice run going, but a holding call. Looked like maybe even downfield, Allen, is that's going to be the case. So actually, it was a holding call downfield, so it'll bring up about 1st and 4. So the Bucks do pick up 6 on the play.
Yeah, if you're going to have a holding penalty, make sure it's 15 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's going to be the best way. But I tell you, early in this game, Ronnie, Burks is doing an effective job running this football. If the Bucks can establish him the rest of this quarter, is a great opportunity to get this offense rolling.
Well, Michael Burks looks healthy. He pulled a hamstring in the first game of the season, and now he's healthy in game number 6 and looking good. There was a pass down the middle to Kenny Causey, way behind the intended target. Herb Tyler way off key on that one.
Yeah, that looked like a rusty Herb Tyler right there. That ball was kind of wobbling a little bit down the field and really not close to the target. We've got an injury down there. Stewart for the Landsharks is down.
Yeah, the defensive back, Corey Stewart, who was trailing Kenny Causey, and he looked like he maybe tried to reach back to deflect the ball, and he's holding his right lower back. Let's see if we can tell on the replay here. As Tyler throws down the middle, and there you see, it looks like he hits the turf. Corey Stewart does with his knee, and then tries to reach back to grab for the ball, maybe to make a spectacular interception. And when he reached back, looked like Corey Stewart pulled something.
Well, the field systems in indoor football are, equipped to, be the best they possibly can. Use padding on the sidelines and that kind of thing. But I tell you, that turf can be rough on injuries and things. And when you got both knees hitting the turf at the same time, it's going to shake anybody up.
Well, good news, Corey Stewart is up and walking off on his own power. But boy, that looked worse than it wound up being. So hopefully Corey Stewart will be able to make it back into the game. There you see Jack Phillips having a word with Herb Tyler. And 2nd and 4 for the Bayou Bucks. Herb a little bit, Tyler a little rusty early on in the game. We'll see if that run game with Michael Burks can maybe open it up a little bit for the passing game. Tyler back to pass. He looks over the middle, finds Beard. Or make it Hurd. Finds Kevin Hurd for the first down. Hurd kind of about an 8-yard turnaround right around the wall there. Just kind of found a space in the zone.
Well, I think what you're going to find Herb Tyler doing is playing within himself here early in the game, not trying to do too much. Looks like he's standing there pretty good, taking a nice 5-step drop right there. The offensive line for the Bucks is doing a super job so far, Ronnie, early in the game, protecting him.
Landsharks look like they're opting to drop some people in secondary, and now there you see 2 men in motion on the top. Burks with a little toss to the left side, a nice move to avoid the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, but then gang tackled by the Shark defense, and Darnell Lee leading the way, number 9.
Well, this is my first time to see Burks live here, and it looks like he's got some shifty moves back there. Reminds me a little bit of a old number 21 at LSU. Looks like an old Dalton Killian right there.
Looked like he made a nice move to avoid Kendall Shello, but couldn't avoid the rest of the Bucks defense. And when you had Herb Tyler back in 2001 with the Baton Rouge Blaze, how did you use him?
Well, we used him quite a bit running the football and also doing a lot of draws and things, and he scored 20 rushing touchdowns in about 10 games in AF2.
Tyler over the middle had an open receiver, but that ball was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Mike Warren maybe got a hand on it.
Well, that's really the only detriment Herb Tyler has as a quarterback. He's only about 5'10", and when you're in there standing with the trees at 6'3" to 6'5", it's a little bit difficult sometimes if the passing lanes aren't there to where you can view your receivers down the field. If you get your hands up, it's going to see some batted balls tonight.
Well, Jack Phillips for the Bayou Bucks was intense before the game. I mean, they started out the season 2-0. His team has lost 3 on the road in a row, and you could feel that this team is desperate for a victory today. Tyler avoids the rush, scrambles and out of bounds at about the 23, so just short of the first down, but there you see ran away from Kendall Shello, number 99.
Well, Shello did a great job from the right end spot, and that's what Herb Tyler's going to do for you. He's going to be able to do the things that, you know, escapability. I know you hear that word sometimes with quarterbacks that can run and scramble, but under pressure that time, able to avoid it, picked up about 4 yards on the scramble.
Houma tried to run a little bootleg play right there, but Kendall Shello was all over it.
Kendall Shello is a big man over there, and he's experienced. He's a former NFL football player, and he's got a lot of years behind him.
Former Lafayette Roughneck, too, in 2001. Let's not forget that. Tyler back to pass again. Complete to Kevin Hurd, and same kind of pass that was completed on the right side of the field earlier. Just a little like hit, little 10-yard hitch or something, and you see Herb Tyler just moving the chains.
Oh, good throw by Herb right there. Just a hitch route on the outside. You're going to find a hitch in indoor football to be a very effective route. This carpet's very fast. Guys are looking to make sure nobody gets beat deep going down the field. You're going to be able to run little turns and curls in front of the DBs. And it looks like Coach Tejada for the Landsharks is really playing a lot of zone with only rushing 3 guys.
Burks on the right side. Hit contact at about the 10-yard line, but he moves forward. That was a collision right there made with number 11, Sutton. Or rather, Warren St. Junius, the safety. You see Burks on the right side finds a little hole. St. Junius comes in, fills the hole nicely. St. Junius out of McNeese, 6 foot, 190 pounds.
Well, Houma's running attack has really been the difference in the game so far. They've been able to hand the ball to Burks, pick up 5-6 positive yards at a crack, and anytime you're going to be able to do that, control the ball with the clock. You know, you got a running clock in the NIFL. If you can control the clock a little bit and run some time off, it's going to put you in a spot that you can do a lot of other things.
Well, we've got an injury down on the field for the Bayou Bucks. It looks like it's number 64, Lane Evans, former LSU. He'll be back. Those offensive linemen are tough. He's a tough one. He'll be back.
They got to be back. You only got about 20 guys dressed out there. He's got to be back. You can dress out 21 on the official roster. The Bucks have 21. Lake Charles only has 20 tonight, so there really isn't much of a bench. A lot of tape going on over there. If you get hurt, tape it up and get back in there. That's right.
Burks again on the right side and a little toss. Nowhere to go. Good job by Lee and Porter. Anthony Porter, number 4 over there, just kind of making sure they didn't get turned. Or they kept stretching the blockers.
Pretty good job by Rogers right there, the right guard. He had Myron Turner hooked just enough to where Burks could pick up some positive yard. It's not a big game, but anyway, it was positive.
So 3rd and about a long 3 for the Bucks. This might be, you know, 4th down territory anyway, even if they don't pick up the first. Scheck-Snyder in motion to the left side. Herb looks, sees Hurd, touchdown. A little slant pass. Herb looked off the safety, looked to the left, threw to the right, and drilled it to Kevin Hurd for the score.
Oh, what a great throw right there by Herb Tyler. You know, he kind of took a 3-step drop through the quick slant down there. The quick slant's always a great throw and a great opportunity to score down around the goal line. Just a good job by the Bucks on offense, Ronnie. They've come out with a little spark with Tyler at quarterback and Burks running the football.
Hurd did not have much separation between he and Anthony Porter, but Herb Tyler put it right on the money for the score, and Chris Trapolo is on to attempt the extra point.
For the first quarter break, I need Team 1, Martin Newsom and Amanda Hansen, along with
Trapolo for the kick. It's up, and it is good. And the Houma Bayou Bucks, in a must-win situation, lead it 10-0 over the Lake Charles Landsharks. We'll take a break and be back with more NIFL action. Well, the Houma Bayou Bucks lead at 10-0. Herb Tyler on a touchdown pass to his favorite receiver tonight, Kevin Hurd. They've connected for about 3 or 4 balls already early on. Jermaine Martin takes it in the goal line. He's got plenty of room to run, and he's dangerous. At the 20, down at the 16-yard line. A 30-yard return by Jermaine Martin. And the Landsharks sealed off the Buck kickoff coverage. Nice on that right side.
Yeah, not a good job of the Bucks on the coverage that time. It looks like the contained man on the left side. I can't make out who it quite was, but he kind of got pinched on the boards. The boards have to be your friend in indoor football, and you got to make sure nobody gets outside of you. Unfortunately, not a very good job for the Bucks on the coverage.
Landsharks with a nice job turning Sheck Snyder in. They got email pinned on the wall, and Jermaine Martin can run through just a little hole. That time he got a big one, and now the Landsharks have it 1st and 10 at the Bucks 16-yard line. Here's a pitch to Winbush on that left side. And we've got a flag down around where the line of scrimmage was.
Winbush, a running back from Kansas a few years ago, actually about 4th in the record books, I believe, at Kansas as far as rushing yardage, behind greats like Sayers and Riggins and folks like that. So there's a lot of tradition at the running back position at the University of Kansas.
Well, a little call against the Landsharks that time. That's that 5-yard box call. And we'll try to explain that. Hang with us the best you can. You've got 2 linebackers there in the middle on defense. Neither linebacker can be within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They both have to line up at least 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. One of the linebackers has to designate himself when he comes to the line of scrimmage by holding his hand up. That can be the only pass rusher, and he has to stay within the tackles. So
a lot for those officials to be looking at.
Yeah, that's the most common call on the defense. A pass by Robinson down the left side. He tried to hit Earl Verschier in the end zone, but it was overthrown. And good coverage.
Good job by Terrell Sutton right there, Ryan. He did a super job getting his hands up and deflecting that football.
Verschier had a chance, but as you mentioned, Sutton was right there to break it up. Terrell Sutton, 5'11", 185 pounds, out of East Texas State. Was with the Dallas Cowboys for a little bit.
Well, you know, the NIFL is a league of opportunity. You got some guys that have been around a while and just some guys really trying to get themselves on film and perform for the scouts.
2nd and 10 for the Landsharks. And Robertson. Ted Robinson hit right at the line of scrimmage immediately. And it looked like maybe Franklin Thomas rather, kind of submarine under the center. And Ted Robinson got tangled up. And he's had a lot of pressure on him early in this game.
Great job of penetration by the Bucks. You know, anytime you can start falling at the quarterback's ankles and knees, having stood back there a few times in my life, it is a difficult situation to throw the ball. And I can tell you, Ronnie, early in the ball game, not having seen the Landsharks play this year, but I guarantee you, Robeson have not had that many balls on the ground.
Houma leads at 10-0 after 1. Houma Bayou Buck football game is brought to you by Copeland's Restaurant of New Orleans in Houma and Lafayette. Also the Cardiovascular Institute of the South. And by Terrebonne Parish. Welcome everyone back to the Lake Charles Civic Center in Lake Charles, Louisiana. After 1 quarter of play, Houma leads Lake Charles 10-0, and that's a surprising score because if you look at the standings in the NIFL, the Lake Charles Landsharks are off to a 5-0 mark. There you see 5-0, 4-0 in the division. The Houma Bayou Bucks started the season 2-0. They're now 2-3 overall. They've lost 3 straight on the road and are 1-2 in the division. So you can see why this game is so important for Houma. They only play 14 games in the regular season, so they're about halfway through, almost halfway through in their division.
Well, like we talked about before the game, this is a 2-game swing game. You know, I mean, if Houma actually wins the ball game. They go to 3-3, get on a little bit of a roll, break a 3-game losing streak. Landsharks would drop to 5-1, and you're only 2 games behind with about 8 left, and you got a shot. If you fall 4 behind with 8 left, it's going to be difficult to get to the top of the division.
Well, in the series between these two teams, going back to last year, the Lake Charles leads 2-0. Lake Charles beat Houma at home 37-16 a year ago, and then a little bit closer down in Houma. But for the Bayou Bucks, which, looking to try to get a little revenge. And Jack Phillips was the head coach a year ago, many of the same players. So the Bucks trying to return the favor a little bit. Ted Robinson at the line of scrimmage, couple receivers in motion, hits Winbush out of the backfield, but a flag is down on the field. Winbush could not hang on. We'll see if it's what the call is. Another illegal defense call, and that will be the most common call in this game, no question.
Well, it's a coach's nightmare in indoor football. You play pretty good defense, and it's an automatic first down, I believe, in indoor football for automatic illegal defense.
And there you see Jack Phillips probably having a word not only with his defense but the officials. That's also the most argued call. What's the biggest difference between, how do you teach that? I mean, that's got to be tough for those linebackers to learn it.
Well, it's all about discipline. It's all about practice and discipline and trying to make sure that you're following the rules of the game. A lot of these guys are used to playing out in space, running free, but there's rules obviously with a 50-yard field to have to make it conducive for offense.
Robinson back to pass, tipped at the line, almost intercepted. It's ruled incomplete, but Bentley and Betts, both of them near the football, but that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Brashear was the intended receiver. There you see Robinson tries to pass, but that ball was tipped. Couldn't quite tell. Looks like it might have been.
That ball almost looked like
Andre Reed.
I know that ball almost looked like it didn't hit the turf, Ron. It almost looked like it may have hit somebody's stomach, bounced up in the air, and was picked by the Bucks.
Let's see if we can take another look at this. The ball's tipped. There you see Bentley. I don't know. Really close. Might have gotten a little bit of turf, but a nice effort by Bentley and Betts. There you see the little swing pass right out to Jermaine Martin, who's dangerous. And Martin tackled down about the 5-yard line. Let's see where they spotted. It might be a first down. Jermaine Martin slow in getting up. Here you see just a little quick pop, a one-step pop to Bentley, almost like a running play. But Bentley is hammered.
Martin's a little shaken up. That was a good play right there on 3rd and 4. Good call by Coach Tejada and the Landsharks. Really just trying to keep the drive going. 4th down. Big play in this drive for the Landsharks.
And Jermaine Martin getting a little help off the field. That could be trouble for Lake Charles because he is their main weapon as a kick returner, is their go-to receiver. And not sure what happened, but he was popped. But he hung on and he was able to pick up a first down. So now it's 1st and goal. And a penalty is now being called. Let's see what the call is.
It's something obviously Coach Tejada's not real thrilled about, I can tell you that.
Well, that's the offensive coach, James Shiver Jr., who's not too happy about it.
I believe it's a legal substitution. Byron Allen came in the game, a long-time indoor football player. Done a lot of great things over the years, but I think they called it an illegal substitution.
There are too many men in the huddle. It's 8-on-8 football, not 9-on-8.
It's tough enough covering 8.
So Shiver has a word with his quarterback. Robinson 1st and goal, give to Winbush, who dances around a little bit, but nowhere to run, and he's smothered by Andre Reed and Roger Green.
Well, Coach Jack Phillips has got to be tickled pink with the way his defense has played early in this quarter. It was only a week ago Lake Charles scored 61 points against an undefeated Beaumont team, Ronnie, and right now, the Bucks are really stiff up front, playing good defense, tackling the football well, and making it tough on Robeson to complete these passes.
Ted Robinson comes to the line of scrimmage, 1st and goal at about the 4, fakes the run to the left side, looks, he's got all day to throw the football. Intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone by Sullivan Beard. He's still on his feet, out towards the 18-yard line.
What a huge play inside the red zone at about the 5-yard line. As a quarterback, sometimes you got too much time to throw the ball. He stood there too long and actually tried to throw it back across the field. What a great interception by the Bucks. Big play in this football game.
Sullivan Beard kind of drifts over, nowhere to throw the football, as you mentioned, and then makes a nice return. A year ago, Sullivan Beard was all conference in the NIFL and led the league with 9 interceptions. He's a veteran player and probably the best secondary player for the Bayou Bucks.
Just a bad decision by Robeson there. He's been playing great football all year. He's 14-0 as a Landsharks starting quarterback. Just a bad decision from the quarterback position.
That's only Robison's fourth interception of the season. He's thrown 17 touchdowns, and that's only his 4th pick. You see a delay of game is the call. Maybe a little too much celebration by the Bucks.
Not what you want to have on the first play coming back after a turnover.
They were a little excited about that interception, and then took a little too much time to regroup, call the play, get it off in time. I think that's about the only penalty I think Jack Phillips will overlook. Because I think he was just as excited as the rest of his team. So now Herb Tyler brings the Bucks to the line of scrimmage with a 10-0 lead here in the 2nd quarter. Tyler drops straight back to pass, looks over the middle, fired complete to his favorite receiver, Hurd, once again. And Kevin Herb and Herb Tyler have a little something going today.
Yeah, they really do. It's a nice duo they got going on. Good connection going on. Hurd's finding the open spots in the zone. You know, Coach Tejada continues to rush 3 only against Herb Tyler, making sure they probably got somebody spying him because of his running ability where they can break and make the tackle on him if he comes out of the pocket. Good throw by Herb Tyler. He looks like he's starting to get in a little bit of a rhythm, Ronnie.
And a very accurate throw because Monticello, the linebacker, was on Hurd's left shoulder. He threw it to Herb's right, so a good accurate throw. And it brings up 2nd and about 3. We'll call him maybe 4. Burks off the right side has the first down, but a flag is thrown in the area of holding.
Looks like we're starting to get a little laundry on the field here in the 2nd quarter. Hopefully we won't see too many hankies from here on out.
The 1st quarter flew by, but the 2nd quarter just started crawling. Illegal shift is the call there, and first down will be brought back. So the Bayou Bucks really hurting themselves this drive. Already a delay of game before they got off the first snap, and then now an illegal shift call.
Well, the good thing about some of these penalties in the NIFL is it's only 3 yards. You know, 3 yards ain't a whole heck of a whole lot to make up after a penalty, so you'll take that and take another shot.
It looks like that'll bring up about 2nd and 7, maybe 8. 2nd and 7 for the Bayou Bucks. Scheck-Snyder in motion over on the right side. Tyler back to pass. He's got Scheck-Snyder open. He throws it to Hurd over the middle. Great catch and a first down.
Very impressive receiver, this Hurd for the Bayou Bucks. He went up and grabbed that ball out of thin air. Tyler did a nice job poking it right through the zone there. They have found a little chemistry between Herb Tyler and Kevin Hurd, that's for sure.
Well, Tyler had a couple of options. Scheck-Snyder was actually wide open, but he went to his go-to guy, Kevin Hurd. Who can blame him? And Hurd comes up with a fantastic catch over the middle. Burks on the toss to the right side, powers ahead and takes it down to about the 9-yard line, a pickup of about 4. This is exactly what Jack Phillips wants. You've got a high offense, explosive team like the Landsharks. You want to move the chains, eat up some clock. And the Bayou Buck offense is doing just that.
Well, sometimes your best defense is a great offense. You know, if you're able to stay on the field, control the line of scrimmage. Burks is doing a super job running the football, falling forward. He hadn't really taken any kind of loss of yardage on any running attempts. And as long as they keep falling forward, they got a good shot at getting this thing in the end zone.
Herb Tyler 7 of 10 throwing. Burks on the right side, powers ahead. Leans forward and gets down to about the 4-yard line.
Big play again. I tell you, they're eating up the left side right now. Myron Turner, the Landsharks, getting manhandled over there at the left end. They got to find somebody to step up and start stuffing the hole between the center and the Bayou Bucks right guard. Big holes over there being opened up by the offensive line.
3rd and 1. When you get down to the goal line, those linebackers don't have to stay 5 yards off. You see Burks on the left side, his laundry on the field, and Burks tackled hard by Stewart down at about the 2, but there's a yellow flag near the line of scrimmage. I think we're going to have an illegal defensive call, and that is the case.
Well, it's going to give the Bucks a first down inside about the 2-yard line, Ronnie. And, you know, we're probably going to see Burks and Tyler run the football. When I coached Herb a couple years ago, we really took advantage of his running ability inside the 5-yard line. He ran the ball great at LSU, and he's the kind of guy that's very, very tough to tackle. But when you got Burks in the backfield, the way they're running the ball, let's probably hand it off to him. He's in a nice rhythm.
Well, you know, the real reason you want to run the football, look there, that's the end zone, and there's not a lot of space. I mean, this is maybe at the most about 6-7 yards at the center of the end zone, and then it curves to the side. So it's when you get down inside the 5-yard line, it's hard to throw the football. So a good running quarterback makes you dangerous.
Absolutely.
Herb can run the option, keep it, you name it. Burks behind Tyler. Scheck-Snyder in motion to give to Burks. And he's in for the score. Just a simple off-tackle play by Burks. And as you mentioned, they went right at Myron Turner. They've had their way all day on that side.
Well, you know, the big guy that got shaken up a little bit early in the game is back in there at right guard for the Bayou Bucks. He's doing a super job. And they shoving Turner off the line of scrimmage right now. And Burks is just doing a super job. Falling forward, keeping his momentum going and getting across that end zone. He smelled that goal line that time, man. Well, like a bloodhound.
That time, Darnell Lee, the linebacker, tried to shoot in there along with Butch Monticello. With Burks with a shifty little sidestep to avoid the linebacker, and he gets into the end zone. Chris Stropolo on for the extra point, and it's up and good. For the former Nichols State Colonel, Chris Stropolo drills it through, and the Houma Bayou Bucks have stunned the Landsharks in Lake Charles. They lead it 17-0. Well, here's the touchdown by Michael Burks. Nothing real fancy, just a little handoff on the right side. There you see, watch number 32, the linebacker. Butch Monticello tried to shoot the gap and make the tackle, but Michael Burks today, a big day, 10 carries, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Michael Burks played his freshman year at Auburn and kind of bounced around a little after that, but has found a home here and with the Houma Bayou Bucks. Pulled his hamstring in training camp before the season, re-injured it in the first game on a long run. So he and Nemesis Bates and others have played a little bit of running back for the Bayou Bucks, but now he's healthy and he's everything they said he was, Alan.
Well, you get two key weapons back like Burks and Tyler. You know, Tyler being in the lineup, you just never know what your offense is going to do. Right now it's all clicking.
Stropolo drills it to Jermaine Martin, who looks healthy, and he's out across midfield. Or rather, that was David Winbush. Martin and Winbush back returning kicks, and number 20 Winbush returns it. He's the starting running back, a former Kansas Jayhawk, and he's got all kinds of room. Takes it past midfield. So if it weren't, Alan, for the return game for the Landsharks, they wouldn't be moving the football much.
No, they've had great field position their last two possessions. Again, the Bayou Bucks defense has stiffened a couple times, done a real good job with 2 stops, got a big turnover, interception, and they've been able to capitalize. That's the key thing. They took the ball going down the field, used a bunch of clock.
Ted Robinson today, 1 of 7 throwing the football, 6 yards and an interception. And another incompletion, make it 1 for 8 as he tried to hit Whitehead on the right side. So who'd have thunk it? Ted Robinson, the quarterback who
1 out of his first 8.
1 out of his first 8. He, veteran quarterback, came into today with 17 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, one of the highest quarterback ratings in the league. And yet it's been the newcomer, Herb Tyler, signed on Monday, who has outplayed the veteran Robinson. Robinson with a quick toss right out to Earl Verschier, who picks up maybe enough for a first down. It's going to be close. just a little quick hitch pass. I mean, Vershear did not even get off the line of scrimmage.
Well, when you're having trouble throwing the ball down the field, you know, I think the coach realized that, you know, hey, I got to get something going here. A little raise up, throw the ball out in the flat out there, a little quick pop. Picked up 9 quick yards. It's tough to come up and make a tackle with a 5-yard cushion out there in the secondary.
Yeah, that was Tim Betts, who went all the way out to make the tackle, a middle linebacker who caught Vershear and kept him from getting the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 1. The pitch to Winbush on the left side. He thinks about going right, stays left, and tackled right at about the line of scrimmage, but does lean forward. He'll be close for the first down. We'll see.
Good job by Roger Green, number 50 out there. You know, you coach defensive linemen not to get hooked on the sweep play. Roger did a good job staying parallel to the line of scrimmage, driving the running back toward the boards where he had to stop in his tracks and let the rest of the posse come help him out.
Now, Roger Green, Franklin Thomas, Andre Reed, all very good defensive linemen. There you see number 50, Roger Green. And not only are they good, they're veterans. Roger Green, 6'3", 285, former Southern Jaguar. So it's still 3rd and short. This time, Robinson is going to plow forward, and where the referees are marking it, it does look like he's got it up for the first. The Bayou Buck defense doesn't think so.
Well, I think he had enough on the initial surge. They're going to give him forward progress for the first down. Good job by the Bucks defense. So, you know, I think they're winning the battle right at the line of scrimmage. It's either a stalemate or they're getting penetration, and that's going to be a key for the rest of the ball game.
Well, they do mark it first down, and the Bayou Bucks defense impressive, but Robinson does lean forward enough. And
now the field starts shrinking. You know, you talked about this earlier, the small end zone, you get down to the 10 or 11, you really got to be able to run the football in this league.
Well, James Shiver Jr., the offensive coordinator, trying to call a 17-point play. He looks, fires down in the end zone, and incomplete. It looked like Jermaine Martin might have come up with it, but I guess he did drop it.
Tough catch right there. He's hanging on top of those hockey boards on the padding over there. I'm not sure if he caught it or not.
That's that curved end zone. He ran out of room. There you see Ted Robinson back to pass. He's got Martin open. Martin, ooh, I don't know. James Shiver Jr., offensive coordinator, thinks it's a touchdown, but
the referees are the only ones that matter.
Referees did not.
Many times I have found out.
That was a close play. Maybe the only thing you could think of is that he did not get his feet down, because I think he held on to it. I don't know, he fell over the boards, but a great effort. Here you see the give to Winbush on the draw. He's got plenty of room. He dances around, cuts back left side, touchdown. Outstanding run by David Winbush, and that's just what the doctor ordered for the Landsharks.
Well, there's no shortness of quickness in the Landshark backfield with Martin and Winbush. These guys have got shifty feet. Super job on the draw to the tailback. He made about 4 or 5 great moves. There you see him, you know, poor number 11.
Well, he made
Terrell Sutton. He lost a little bit of his underwear there at about the 4-yard line and had to pick it up. What a good run by Winbush.
Well, Winbush made Betts miss initially, the middle linebacker on the draw, and then juked Sutton and got in for the score. The kick is up and good by Clint Stanford. And the lead's been cut to 10. So the Houma Bayou Bucks lead at 17-7. We'll be back from Lake Charles. Through score and get the crowd excited here. The kickoff by Stanford hits the gondola, hits the scoreboard here in the middle. It's not the old Superdome scoreboard, but that's not good, because I think when you hit the scoreboard, you get the ball where it falls on the turf.
That's a little different rule. You know, we've got all kinds of different rules in some of the various indoor and arena leagues around the country, but that's a tough pill to swallow if you're a coach. You just come over to big play, you ask him to kick or just get a decent kick, and you bang it into the scoreboard.
Now let's see, now the officials are talking about it. I know that if you kick the ball out of bounds on the kickoff and it doesn't go in the end zone, you get it at midfield.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, so you see a lot of squib kicks in the NIFL because you don't want to take a chance of the ball going out of bounds.
Well, the ceiling here at the Civic Center in Lake Charles is a little bit low. The clock's a little bit low with the scoreboard, but, you know, there's a great chance to kind of hit a little tight draw around the scoreboard like a golfer and get this thing down there. Just done a good job by the kicker for the Landsharks.
Well, you know, Clint Stanford's a good one, a former All-Southland Conference kicker out of Northwestern State. You just got to know that you can't do that, and if anything, squib kick it. But here you see Michael Burks on the right side. He's got some room, dances around a little bit, and plows ahead for 4, and another outstanding effort by Michael Burks as he totally jukes out Butch Monticello, number 32, the linebacker for the Landsharks.
Number 52, Ryan Rogers over there is doing a great job for the Bayou Bucks. They keep pounding right behind him. It looks like the Landsharks have made a little bit of an adjustment. They've got Clarence Caesar over there at left end now, and it looks like he's trying to stuff that running game from Burks and the Bayou Bucks.
Well, everything going the Bayou Bucks way. There you see Rogers, who's filled in for Lane Evans, who left the game with an injury. Rogers, former Grambling Tiger, and he's done a nice job. Tyler fumbles the snap, and the Landsharks get it. Herb Tyler pulled down a little too quickly from the center, and a big turnover, and the momentum now swinging towards the Landsharks.
Well, you know, everybody talks about momentum in sports, especially pro sports. You know, things can turn around awfully quick, and you know, you just don't anticipate the center quarterback exchange being a problem at the pro level. But with Herb Tyler only being in practice for 3 days, you know, it's difficult to get the deal going with the center a lot of times.
Well, Herb Tyler's fumble is recovered by former LSU Tiger basketball player Clarence Caesar.
I don't remember Clarence being that heavy when he was on the courts over there at LSU.
There you see Clarence Caesar right there, number 90 for the Landsharks. Played basketball for Dale Brown, and our best wishes go out to Dale Brown, who had suffered a stroke a few days ago in Baton Rouge. There you see a big-time hit by Email, who fills in. Whitehead on the catch. Email comes flying in and makes a big-time hit.
Great job by Whitehead right there to go up and get that football. He knew he was going to get stuck. He did a super job coming down with it, hanging on.
You see Drew Email, not a big guy at all. 5'9", 180 pounds. Went to Nicholls State, went to Vanderbilt High School, same high school as Scheck-Snyder. Plays bigger than that, though. He came up and made a big-time pop. And officials timeout. Let's see, there is a flag or a whistle or something. No flag.
I believe we're at the 2-minute warning.
We're at the 2-minute break of the first half, so we'll take a timeout here from Lake Charles. The Bayou Bucks lead at 17-7 over Lake Charles. Well, there you see number 90 for the Landsharks, Clarence Caesar, had the big fumble recovery. The former LSU Tiger forward, who was a big three-point bomber for the Landsharks at LSU under Dale Brown in the early 90s from Iowa, Louisiana.
Yeah, Clarence was a favorite of a lot of folks.
The big lefty gunner. I was a left-hander, so I liked him. See Robinson back. The pass fires all the way downfield. It's got a man open. Touchdown. Earl Verschier gets behind the Bayou Bucks secondary. And the Landsharks have quickly gotten right back in this ball game. Robinson with all kinds of time.
Great pass protection right there. Looked like the Bucks were in a zone defense. Cornerback on the right side got a little bit lost. I don't know if he had thirds of the field or was playing up on kind of a shallow zone, but he got behind him and 6 points for the Sharks. And Ronnie, this thing turned around in an awful hurry.
The Bayou Bucks just a few minutes ago led it 17-0. A touchdown by Winbush, the running back on a draw, a turnover, and now a long pass, and it's 17-14 after the extra point by Clint Stanford. So NIFL football, it can turn in a hurry, and this is an outstanding play.
Well, that's what makes indoor football, arena football very, very exciting. You know, anytime you can come up with one-play drives and get back in the ball game, get the crowd in the game. I mean, the atmosphere right now in the Civic Center is kind of electric. They feel their Landsharks coming back. And it's going to be critical, you know, that the Bayou Bucks get this kickoff stem to tie, don't turn the ball over, and have a nice little methodical drive here to run this last minute 50 off the clock, because the Landsharks are going to get the second half kickoff, and anytime you got possession of the ball in this game, it's going to be to your advantage, and you got the best shot to taking the lead.
Well, it's critical right here that Clint Stanford get a good pickoff and not hit the roof like he did last time.
Well, I got a feeling we've seen Clint hit the roof the last time for the evening.
Yeah, the Landsharks have been explosive in the return game today, but the Bayou Bucks have just as much firepower as they've got Kenny Causey, number 88, back returning kicks. And also Nemesis Bates back there, number 22, the former Southern Jaguar, LSU Tiger, Southern Jaguar star. And kick will be taken by Causey at the 5. He's out to the 10, 15. Some running room and powers forward across midfield. So the Bayou Bucks will get it 1st and 10 at the Landsharks 24-yard line. So a nice return.
Yeah, good job right there by Causey. He kind of caught the ball, come running up full speed. Got a head of steam. Good blocking by the return team by the Bayou Bucks. Now, Ronnie, let's see what happens right here. You know, Herb Tyler, this is a first little bit of adversity. He's got in the ball game, dropping the center quarterback exchange. Let's see how he responds.
You know, the first play crucial because you know it's in his head. He's thinking about the last time he fumbled. And, you know, for Herb to be effective, he's got to play wide open and not real conservative. He's got to try to just let the game come to him. Michael Burks behind him, 2 receivers in motion on the top side. Tyler's going to tuck it and try to run. Now he's going to throw the football. Officials rule it incomplete as Tyler tried to throw it all the way across the field to Burks. Might have been a lateral, though.
Well, it was close, no doubt about it, but I guess the officials called it an incomplete pass. But really the first time Herb's had to be flushed from the pocket tonight. Good pressure by the Landsharks defense. Really nothing downfield. Looked like they were playing a good little zone defense in the back there by the Landsharks. 2nd down.
2nd and 10 for the Bayou Bucks, but there you see a Herb Tyler who, back in the day, would have run the football. Right there, he thought about trying to throw it.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to turn the corner. You know, Herb may be just a touch out of shape. Obviously, he hadn't been in a real organized football game in well over a year, and I think in the old days, Herb would have turned that corner and tucked it and picked up some yardage.
Herb Tyler had his first practice on Monday, so this is like a preseason game for him, except it's not. There's a pass downfield, tries to hit Michael Burks, and Darnell Lee all over him, and Darnell Lee will be called for pass interference.
Tried to run the running back out of the backfield on a little shoot route down the hash marks. Good job by Tyler trying to find him, and Burks was really smothered at that time, and a good call by the official.
Herb Tyler able to place the football close enough to Burks to get that interference. And Jack Phillips having a word with his quarterback, trying to get points here as the Bucks 17-0 lead has been cut to 3. Let's see what the official call is. It should be pass interference, and it is.
Well, it's a big penalty in the National Indoor Football League, Ronnie. The penalty's actually at the occurrence of the foul, like in the old days back in the NFL. Well, it still is in the NFL. Right. Back, you know, in the college days, they changed it to a 15-yard penalty where it's not so severe. Big-time penalty right there on the Landsharks.
Yeah, they will make the secondary not want to do that again, that's for sure. and also an exciting play, though, for the offense, because if you know, your momentum can change in a hurry if you can get a pass interference call, and that's exactly what's happened here. Is the Bucks have it 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. Michael Burks behind Herb Tyler. The give is to Burks on the right side. A little toss, nowhere to run, but he powers forward, breaks the tackle. Looks like he maybe picked up 1. That's about it.
Well, you've heard the old saying, going to the well maybe once too often. They sure are wearing out the right side of the Bayou Bucks offensive line. It looks like the Landsharks have made a little bit of a defensive adjustment, starting to stop the run a little bit on that side of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they brought the 3-point shooter in Clarence Caesar.
He's a tough man to get hooked over there.
And a timeout is called by the Landshark defense with 1:01 to go. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back from the Lake Charles Civic Center right after this timeout. It gives to Burks once again on that right side, and he is in for the score. Michael Burks, same play as we've seen every time they've gotten down to the goal line, just to A dive off the right side, and that time Michael Burks powers in once again.
Well, if Burks has been out the first few weeks for the Bayou Bucks, tonight he has proven that he is a big difference on his offense. What a good run, powering the pile over the goal line. Showed a lot of leg drive, kept his head down. I have not really seen that young man get stopped for a loss tonight, Ron. He's always moving forward.
And that time Burks did it the hard way, ran right through the heart of the defense as he pushed Butch Monticello and the secondary into the end zone. And now Chris Trapolo on, and he has been perfect tonight in extra points. Now we see a flag called, and a hold will be the call. Looks like against Rodemeyer. Mick Rodemeyer, number 73 for the Landsharks. The officials threw the flag right at him, so they'll back it up and do it again.
Well, that's a big penalty because obviously Trapolo did a nice job kicking it through, but you're going to back it up 3 or 4 yards. You got to do it again. And with these 9-foot goalposts in the indoor football league, it's never a gimme on these extra points.
Well, Trapolo tonight has a field goal from about 34 and 2 extra points. So he's accounted for 5 of the 23 points by the Bucks so far, trying to make it 6.
This is going to turn into about a 22-yard, almost extra point attempt, 23-yard attempt. So it's not a gimme right here. They're going to have to concentrate, get a good snap, and protect.
Trapolo's had a little bit of an up and down season so far this year, but he holds the record in the NIFL for most field goals in a game with 6 a year ago. Extra point is up, and no problem. He looks perfect tonight. He's accounted for 6 of the 24 points. And the Bucks lead at 24-14. We'll take a break and be back with more from Lake Charles right after this. Well, the Landshark fans a little bit surprised, I'm sure, about a score. 24-14 Houma. Trapolo kicks it to Winbush, who returns it out to the 15. And he's brought down at about the 17-yard line. Emmanuel Bentley down to make the stop.
Well, good tackle by Bentley right there. He really wrapped Winbush up around the knees and dropped him very quickly. Really didn't give him a chance to get out underneath those boards out there and get toward the middle of the field.
Let's go, Landsharks.
Well, 51.8 seconds left to play here in the first half. Plenty of time for Robinson to get his offense into the end zone.
You know, it's kind of crazy. You talk about scoring too quick, but you can almost score too quick, you know, in indoor football. You try to score, but you leave 52 seconds on the clock for the other team to get something done. That's an awful lot of time.
The Bayou Bucks with 4 DBs in the game on a little nickel package. Robinson flushed out of the pocket plenty of time. He's being chased, and down he goes. Tackled by Roger Green, number 50. Roger Green's played a whale of a first half.
Yes, he has. The whole defensive front for the Bucks have played some good football. Stopping the run for the most part. Just gave up the one big run to Winbush on the touchdown. But I tell you, they're getting in the backfield and putting pressure on Robinson, and he's being affected by it. There's no doubt about it.
Well, a timeout is taken with 32.6 seconds to play. So Landsharks try to stop the clock.
Houma on defense at time played a 2-deep zone. They had a guy kind of running down the middle of the field, which is the soft spot of a 2-deep zone in most traditional defenses, even in the indoor league. But with the great pressure from the Bayou Bucks defensive line, Ronnie, he's had a tough time getting the ball down the field.
Well, it has been a tough first half for Ted Robinson, who is 4 out of 12, Allen, for 52 yards. And the one for that one long pass, it would be, those numbers would look even worse. Hadn't been his fault, though. He just hadn't had any time.
No, it's been tough back there, no question about it. Give all the credit to the Bayou Bucks defensive pressure.
Well, will the Landsharks sit on it, or will they try to get down the field? They're going to drop back to pass. A flag is called, and down goes Robinson again and again. Well, actually, that time it was Franklin Thomas. So it's defensive line is sharing the wealth. Roger Green got the sack. That time, the veteran Franklin Thomas comes in for the sack. But it will go for naught because the illegal defense is the call. But a nice play there. You see Franklin Thomas getting around the left side. That was Reggie Nelson trying to block Thomas, but won't count because illegal defense is the call.
You know, Franklin's been around this thing a long, long time, Ronnie, and I tell you what, you know, he's almost a modern miracle. He's 35, 36 years old. He runs his own painting company. He still enjoys football so much that he stays involved with the indoor league, gives it everything he's got every time he's been out there. He played for me for the last couple of years in the situation we had in Baton Rouge and over in Mobile, Alabama. Franklin's a class guy. He goes out and gives you 100% every time. What a great sack by him.
Well, Franklin Thomas wasn't going to play this year. He's just going to coach the defensive line, but they had a shortness of players or an injury before the season. He suited up for another one, and he's been one of the top players on the Bayou Buck defense.
Well, you know, he's 6'5", about 280. He's still nimble enough. He's got good enough feet to kind of run around some blocks. He's almost like a specialized pass rusher. He's not been all that great against the run in the past, but he sure knows how to stop the passing game, and he gets to the quarterback from time to time.
Well, Franklin Thomas out of Grambling, played at Grambling a long time ago. Didn't play with Doug Williams, but he did play a long
almost that long ago.
Almost did. I'm sure he's proud of his alma mater as they have become the class of the SWAC under Doug Williams' tutelage. And not much longer. I think Doug Williams might be getting a shot, huh?
I think so. You know, he's proven himself up at Grambling the last few years, done a good job. We'll see what happens here on the second down.
Robinson in the shotgun this time. Again, gets the ball, almost falls down. He's getting pressured once again, and down he goes. This time, Andre Reed. 53, Andre Reed gets the sack, and the Bayou Bucks call a timeout. They're going to try to get the football back.
Great job by Jack Phillips understanding where they are in the game. It's going to be bringing up a long third down.
Hey, you see Reed blows by Major Griffin, number 77. And Robinson has got to be wondering what is going on today. He has been harassed every single time he's dropped back to throw the football. So Roger Green with a sack, Andre Reed with a sack. Franklin Thomas, the sack won't count, so he's upset. But everybody on that defensive line has had a face-to-face meeting with Ted Robinson.
Yeah, he's getting to know him very personally here in the first half. Not what he wanted to do, that's for sure. The Landsharks got to start blocking a little bit. They're really not doing a very good job up front right now, and Robinson's probably going to have to go back to a little bit of a quick game to see if he can get some of his quick guys, Winbush and Martin, back out in the open field to pick up some big downs.
Well, it's about 3rd and about 11. And the Bayou Bucks are trying to get the football back if they can. Bush is the running back. The receivers will probably break in motion. There goes Jermaine Martin towards the line of scrimmage. Robinson with time, fires downfield, intercepted. Intercepted and returned by Beard, and he'll go in for the score.
There's that man again, Sullivan Beard.
Well, we have not had an official indicate touchdown. All the officials are down near the goal line. A sensational return by Sullivan Beard.
Ronnie, unfortunately, I think we got a clip or a hole back here at midfield after the interception. An early flag came in and a late flag came into the end zone, I guess because of the celebration.
Well, that sensational effort by Sullivan Beard's going to come back, but the interception's going to count. Let's see if we can't get the official. It's going to be a clip on the return, so the interception will count. And then we've got a personal foul against the Landsharks down in the end zone. So there you see Beard with the interception. Let's see if we can see maybe where the clip comes. Couldn't really tell, but there you see what a fantastic athletic effort.
Tell you what, he's done a super job running with the ball after the interception. Coach Phillips may want to take a look at him at some tailback.
Well, he's one of the return guys for their team. He's a fantastic kick returner in this league. So, yeah, maybe Beard needs to play a little offense, but they've got some great receivers on offense. But 2 interceptions for Sullivan Beard, who's having a great year in the backfield. Led the league a year ago with 9 picks.
Just another poor decision by Robeson, the quarterback for the Landsharks. You know, you got really nothing going down the field. You're throwing the ball late down the middle. Late down the middle means one thing in football, interceptions. You can't do that. especially at this point in the game, what's going to happen is either we're going to get one shot at a field goal by the Bayou Bucks, or they're going to throw one in the end zone. Looks like they're going to try and kick about a 32-yard, 33-yard field goal.
Now, 0.9 seconds, all that return ate up a lot of the clock. Chris Stropolo will come on for the field goal, which will be about a 38-yarder. 38-yarder, you got to, I don't know if you think about the scoreboard. Stropolo's got the leg. We'll see. He's been hot tonight. A field goal already from 34 early. Here's the kick. It's up. It's on the way, and it is good.
What a great kick. Right
down the middle by Chris Stropolo.
He's like a golfer, man. He's grooved in tonight, Ronnie. He is drilling them from everywhere. What a great kick. What momentum the Bucks got going into the locker room at halftime.
Now, the Bayou Bucks played almost a perfect first half, and they lead it 27-14 over the Lake Charles Landsharks. It's halftime in Lake Charles. We'll take a timeout and be back in a little bit right after this.
Thanks, Ronnie. With Coach Jack Phillips of the Houma Bayou Bucks. Coach, solid first half on defense. You got to be pleased with the way the first half went.
Absolutely. We're in the lead, and that's where we wanted to be. We wanted to try to control the ball and the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, make it a slow-down game, and hopefully we'll make them do something that they don't want to do. And I think they don't want to really pass the ball, and it's working out to our favor. But we got to remember, this is one of the best teams in the league, and I think the best team in the league. They're undefeated, so we never can settle for second best right here. We got to come out and play a good second half.
Well, I know you made a change at quarterback this week. You brought old Herb Tyler back. He hadn't played a game in over a year. Tell me what you thought of his play in the first half.
Well, Herb Tyler's my first recruit. That's the first person that I recruited, and I'm always happy with Herb. He's got heart, he's got charisma, he's funny, he's fun, he's a leader, and he doesn't have to pass the ball very, very well for us to win football games because he's a great leader in the huddle.
Well, Coach, good luck in the second half. Great job. Go get him.
Thank you.
Back to you, Ronnie.
Well, thank you, Alan. And so far, the first half has been all Houma Bayou Bucks as they lead at 27-14. It should be an exciting second half. We'll take a break and be back with the kickoff right after this.
Through hard work and thoughtful planning, we have established a thriving economy in this area, legendary for its natural resources, renowned culture, and friendly people. Terrebonne is linked to the global economy by its network of waterways and inland port, great highway access, and its expanding airport. This combination has created a safe harbor and prosperous location for industry. Terrebonne, let us show you why we call it the Good Earth. For more information, contact the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, 985-873-6890.
Kitchen's really cooking during Copeland's Fresh Seafood Festival. It's the freshest seafood with a shot of New Orleans attitude. The Fresh Seafood Festival, only at Copeland's.
Well, it was an exciting halftime here in Lake Charles, an exciting halftime as fans were treated to the Landshark Pirate, I guess. They were shooting T-shirts into the stands, a tradition all across the NIFL, and there's the kickoff by Stropolo. Squib kick taken by Darnell Lee. As he, the up man, he returns it back to about the 22-yard line. So Stropolo concerned about kicking the football into the, kicking it out of bounds or hitting the clock. Squib kicks it. Darnell Lee is able to come up with it and return it back to the 22. So good field position for Lake Charles Landsharks as they try to make a little comeback here. Haven't been in that position too often this year.
Well, the first possession of the third quarter is always, I'll consider, the biggest possession of the game. If you get a quick score here, momentum obviously goes to Lake Charles. The Bayou Bucks need to shut this thing down.
Tough first half for Robinson, 4 of 13 through the air. He He's much better than those numbers. There's the give up the middle to Winbush. And actually, that was not Winbush. As they're going to give Winbush a little bit of break. That's former LSU Tiger Byron Allen. Byron Allen, 6 foot, 205 pounder, a veteran who played here the last couple of seasons. So now they've got Allen and Winbush in the backfield. Winbush, a very good receiver as well. So split backfield, extra protection. And it looks early on as we have a break because of a flag here. See what the call is. It looks like to be against the Landsharks. Illegal procedure is the call. And it looks, Allen, that we've got 2 running backs. So now Allen goes out with the long second down with the penalty. But a couple of receivers in the game, a couple of running backs in the game at the same time. 2 running backs in the backfield. Maybe the Landsharks trying to get that extra max protection with all the pressure Robinson got in the first half.
Or they could be kind of going away from the pass and maybe trying to establish a little bit of running game. Started first down with a little counter crossbuck play. We'll see what they come up with right here.
Landsharks only 16 yards passing in the first half. A nice completion to Jermaine Martin. Robinson was pressured. He stepped up and drilled it to Jermaine Martin, who made a tough catch.
Well, that's probably the best passing play they've executed tonight, other than the long touchdown pass. He hung in the pocket real well, threw a strike, good route, good catch, and a big gain right there. Brings up a 3rd and short.
Well, a real nice completion, and Martin paid the price. He was tackled by Tim Betts, but even on that completion, Andre Reed got around the corner and came in and made contact with the quarterback, Robinson. So 1st and 10, the give is to Winbush on the right side, and Winbush nowhere to go. A gain of maybe 3 at most. And Winbush came into this game, and the first 5 games that the Landsharks has played, he scored 10 touchdowns, 9 on the ground, 1 through the air, had nearly 300 yards rushing. He's been bottled up today.
Well, Winbush is a little fella, looks like he's about 5'7", 5'8". He kind of gets tucked in behind them big offensive linemen, and he kind of pops out, squirts out, and he's got enough quickness to where if he ever gets out in the open field, he's going to be big trouble for the Bucks.
Robinson back to pass, fires. And is it caught? It is. A completion to Jermaine Martin. Ball almost hit the turf, but Jermaine Martin able to get his hands under it as we see the replay. Martin did secure it.
I think it's coming back, Ronnie. We got a holding penalty on the Landsharks. I believe it was on the center, Derek Lewis. I saw Franklin Thomas kind of giving the claps. I think he was tackled in the interior there, so the play is going to come back and nullify that game.
Well, 2 penalties already here in the second half for the Landsharks. We've seen a lot of yellow. We didn't see much in the first quarter, a well-played first quarter. Second quarter, we saw a lot of penalties, and 2 already to start the second half. So Robinson comes to the line. Receivers split at the backfield. Pass down to the end zone. Touchdown. Earl Verschier. That is the 2nd time tonight that the Landsharks have hooked up Robinson to Verschier.
Well, great throw and catch. Robinson hung in there very well. He stuck in the pocket, drilled it right over the top of the zone defense down there in the corner. That's the 2nd time Verschier's got over the corner in a 2-deep zone defense where the corner was playing up and the guy was able to get behind him and be in a little bit of a void area for a touchdown.
All kinds of pressure around Robinson. He does not get phased, and a very accurate throw to Verschier, who kind of hovered the left wall, if you will. Just like that, the Landsharks score and they take the opening kickoff of the second half, go right down the field, score to make it 27-20.
A little bit of a substitution problem right there on the extra point. When you're running big guys in and out of the games, a lot of times after a touchdown, the excitement, somebody usually forgets that either an injury or something got them on the extra point team. They had to take a delay of game to get their people on the field.
That'll make it a little bit further back for Clint Stanford, about 3 yards further. So It'll be about a 19, 20-yard extra point. But yeah, and makes it more difficult is here in Lake Charles, like a lot of the arenas around the NIFL, is the fact that the benches are in the end zones, not on the sidelines. So we'll take a timeout as the Bayou Bucks lead at 27-21 in Lake Charles. And right after the touchdown pass by Lake Charles, Houma now has to answer. This has been an exciting football game. A lot of big plays on both sides.
It really has. You know, the indoor game is built for offense and a bunch of exciting plays. It has just about everything you would ask for. Big plays on a run game, great defensive plays, interceptions, a fumble here or there. It's been a wild first half, and also here to start the first couple minutes of the second half.
Clint Sanford to kick off, a directional kick, and it goes into the seats. Kicks it out of bounds. So the fans will get a souvenir, but that's bad news for the Landsharks. Good news for the Bayou Bucks because Houma will have it 1st and 10 at midfield.
It's almost like a major penalty, you know. It's almost like getting a 15-yard penalty in traditional football where you kick it out of bounds, start at midfield. You really don't have to expend any energy. You don't do anything. You pick up 25 yards.
We have yet to see Clint Stanford squib kick tonight. I got to believe that's coming up next. And we've seen two very good field goal kickers tonight, and Stropolo and Stanford have been very accurate. Here you see Herb's numbers in the first half: 6 of 10 for 52 yards and a touchdown. The only blemish, he had a fumbled snap.
Yep, and you know that's going to happen when you haven't had much work, only in a week's worth of practice.
Tyler at the line of scrimmage almost fumbles it right there, bobbles it just a little bit. Flag is thrown in the direction of the line of scrimmage. Looks like we're probably going to get a hold against the Bayou Bucks. And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that play kind of started off ugly, you know. It's one of those things where the quarterback looks like he may have tripped over a guard. The fumble snap almost occurred. It just didn't look like a good play from the get-go.
Well, we have been told by the quarterbacks before the game that the footballs in the NIFL are a little bit slick. They've got like a synthetic football that they use, and we've even seen former starter Will Birch, who's the backup to Tyler tonight, use gloves.
Really?
So maybe that's a little bit of a problem. Tyler to pass again, a ball thrown high to Hurd, and Kevin Hurd's lucky he didn't get hurt on that play.
Yeah, that was a dangerous play right there. It was kind of going to be set up like a bubble screen to the outside, quick toss. Looked like the Landsharks actually brought their linebacker from the outside, really got penetration, and had to throw like a lob bubble screen over the top of him. It could have been a lateral, could have been a disaster.
Now, fortunate that Hurd was able to catch it, secure it, come down without a turnover. That was played nicely by Corey Stewart, who came up to make the tackle. So now 2nd and about 9. Tyler back to pass. He's going to throw deep. He's got Nemesis Bates open. Caught and incomplete. Caught and dropped. The officials rule it incomplete. From our vantage point, it looked like Nemesis Bates went up, caught it, but then when he hit the turf, the ball came loose.
Yeah, it looked like the ground caused the ball to come out, but the official ruled that I guess he hadn't been touched yet. The ball came out and the ground did not cause it. Kind of a strange call here.
There you see Nemesis Bates makes the adjustment and bobbled it a little bit, it looked like on the replay, and then when he landed on his back, the ball came loose. So it did look like the proper call.
Yeah, I don't think he ever had complete possession of the ball coming down.
Not a good throw by Tyler down the field, and actually kind of pseudo underthrew the receiver, which is always good because it allows the receiver to make the play. So now 3rd and about 9. Tyler back to pass. He's being pressured. He's got time. Drops it. Ball comes loose. Did he fall on it? And he did recover it. So there we see Herb Tyler. That's the 3rd time tonight that he's had trouble with the football. It's a 2nd fumble, but that time he was able to fall on it. So Tyler's falling loose. Ball just came out of his hands.
Well, if there's any weaknesses in Herb Tyler's game as a quarterback, sometimes he tries to do just a little bit too much on a short field like this. And, he had a tendency to drop the ball a little bit in the old Arena Football 2 league that he participated in. He's got to be able to control the ball a little bit better when he's in the pocket.
So the Landshark defense rises to the challenge, and they get a big stop. Now Stropolo is on for a long field goal attempt. This will be more like a punt as he lines it out of the end zone.
Really a nice kick right there. It'll be brought out to the 5-yard line. That's what you want out of your kicker.
Real nice job by Stropolo right there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but not a way you want to start the second half if you coach Jack Phillips. You give up a big play on a touchdown pass on the first possession. You come out, you don't pick up a first down. Really, all the momentum right now is with the Lake Charles Landsharks.
Oh, that's exactly right. The momentum has shifted, and we'll have an official timeout here in Lake Charles. So we've got a break in the action. We'll take a break here from the Lake Charles Civic Center as this one is awfully close. Well, the Lady Sharks are pretty excited.
Absolutely.
I apologize if that's not the name of them, but Landshark bench is excited as Robinson tries to hit Verschier. Robinson just dropped back, tried to hit Verschier in a little hitch, but incomplete.
Boy, a dangerous throw right there. You got a lot of pressure from the Bucks defensive front right there. And, just a quick throw out there, right? Dangerous from your own end zone.
Yeah, almost a quick touchdown the other way. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. The Bayou Buck defense played very well in the first half. They need to prevent, I guess, a score by the Landsharks if they want to try to keep the momentum somewhat in check, because right now Landsharks are playing good. They just scored. The defense had a stop, and the fans are looking for something to cheer about here in the Civic Center. Robinson back to pass, fires downfield, in the middle of the field, wide open. His favorite target, Jermaine Martin. Martin and Verschier have been the big 2 targets tonight for Robinson, and Martin wide open right down the middle.
Well, it's only the first or the second time tonight where they actually put 4 guys in a pattern vertically down the field. They caught the Houma Bayou Bucks in a double zone right there where you have 2 safeties covering halves of the field. Martin was able to get down the soft spot of the defense. Nice throw by Robinson.
Robinson able to get it over Betts, the linebacker, and complete it to Martin in time before Beard could come over and knock it away. The official steps in again for time of our official timeout. Let's see what this is all about. Maybe a coach's warning. I'm not sure.
Not sure what this is all about.
Well, no explanation, but we'll start it back up. And again, that 3-back set that the Landsharks seem to come to the line in every time, and then Martin and Whitaker break out at the give to Winbush up the middle on the delay, and Winbush all the way down, maybe to the 5-yard line, about the 4-yard line.
We do have some laundry on the field again. It looks like they may be holding on the Landsharks.
Coming back again, it looked like maybe Derek Lewis, the center, was going to be called. And that negates a fine run by Winbush, who had a big hole on the left side.
Big Derek's having a tough time out there. He is a big man, Ronnie Rance. He's about 6'3", 380, I believe is what they got him in the program. He's a big fella. I think they're giving him a tough time up front.
6'3", 380, and he's got the size, over the defensive line for the Bayou Bucks, going up against Franklin Thomas, Roger Green, and Andre Reed, but those guys are really quick.
Yeah, they really are, and it's difficult for a big man like that. Lewis is a little bit more, let's say, wider than higher right now in his physique, and he's having a tough time with the quickness of the nose guard.
Now Roger Green is head up on Lewis, the former Grambling Tiger, and again another penalty. And the Bayou Bucks are clapping, so maybe it's against the Landsharks again. And another delay.
You know, it was interesting. A lot of the indoor football rules were kind of developed from its sister league, the arena football. And arena football went to some more severe penalties, you know, 5 yards and 10 yards and automatic first downs, loss of downs. You know, the NIFL might want to consider that. 3 yards really not going to deter a whole lot in this league.
Well, Robinson back and out of the shotgun. First and about 15. Incomplete as he throws along the left side. He tried to hit Verschier, and that ball goes into the stands.
It's like a nice souvenir for some young men down in some Lake Charles Landsharks jerseys down there. They look like they're pumped up.
That's not bad at all. You get that $50 football. You get a black eye, but you get a $50 football. There's some youngsters. Jamie Shiver Jr., the offensive coordinator, a little hot on the collar after his team has been called for a couple of delay of game penalties and another penalty. And now it's getting a little sloppy.
Yeah, this game's starting to move like molasses in December, man. It's kind of shutting down here. A lot of laundry, getting a little bit sloppy.
False start against the offense. This one, and Jack Phillips just wants his team to decline it. Might want to right here, coach, just kind of have your team go to the line of scrimmage, no motion, see if you can get one off.
Been a little tough right now. See, I'm not sure why they're declining a penalty, Ronnie. I thought it was a dead ball foul. It's still going to be second down. Why wouldn't you take the 3 yards? I'm even getting a little confused here with the hankies.
I think a lot of people are confused. And now we've got a timeout, and we'll take one too. We will try to regroup here in Lake Charles. The Bayou Bucks lead the Lake Charles Landsharks 27-21. Well, let's see if the Lake Charles Landsharks can run a couple of plays in a row here without a penalty. It's been a sloppy third quarter early on. Landsharks have been called for about 5 penalties early so far in the third quarter. Now Robinson back to pass. Had Verschier open for a minute. He's got a little pressure. Thomas drills him. He throws it downfield and intercepted. Robinson with the heave downfield. That's intercepted by Eugene Ridgely.
Hey, Robinson's having a tough night. That was another bad decision from the quarterback position. They lined up in like a double dotted I, 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Tried to run 2 vertical down the sideline. He just hung up a wounded quail, and a great job by the Bayou Bucks defensive secondary to come over with a big play.
Franklin Thomas hits Robinson as he throws it, and that ball intercepted by Eugene Ridgely, who was just kind of went up and got the errant throw. Eugene Ridgely, a 6'2", 200-pounder out of the University of Miami, and Big Franklin Thomas has lived in the backfield all day today of the Landsharks.
Big Franklin Thomas, a modern marvel of medicine.
He has played in a few places, hasn't he?
To his credit.
Yep. Well, 1st and 10 for Herb Tyler. They give to Burks on the left side. Michael Burks with nowhere to run. He dives forward, maybe picks up 1. And a nice stop and play that time by the middle linebacker, Monticello, and Mike Warren also on the tackle.
Well, this is a key drive in the game. It's essential that the Bucks get points here. You know, you're up by 6. And you got the football with only 3 minutes left in the third quarter. You really got to put something together here. Get some kind of points, field goal, touchdown, whatever it might be.
Tyler, the toss to Michael Burks on the right side, nowhere to go. He fights off 1 tackle and plows ahead maybe for 1. But the Landsharks are looking for that. They're sniffing out that run right now.
Yeah, and they've made an adjustment at halftime. Good job by Coach Tejada and the boys at the Lake Charles Landsharks, stuffing the run. Myron Turner doing a much better job on the end corner right there. And really, you know, if Tyler cannot get something going through the air, it's going to be a long second half. Big third down play here for the Bucks.
3rd and about 7, or maybe 8 for the Bayou Bucks. Tyler back to pass, nowhere to run. And he is dropped by Kendall Shello. And then Herb Tyler doesn't like Kendall Shello's celebration dance right on top of him. And I think Herb Tyler might get a little unsportsman conduct. You see Shello was pushed around Tyler, but because Tyler didn't have anything downfield, that's really a coverage sack. Shello comes back and fights and gets Herb Tyler.
Good job by Shello to keep fighting. You know, you never know where the quarterback's going to step. Herb kind of stepped to his left. Shello did a good job coming around his block and getting a sack. And I'm not sure what the penalty is. I think it may be, like you said, maybe some unsportsmanlike conduct on the Bayou Bucks.
Now the officials are trying to sort it out. Kendall Shello, big number 99, who played a couple of years with the Indianapolis Colts. And he's going to get hit for the unsportsmanlike conduct. The celebration penalty.
Big break for the Bucks right there. Shello got a little excited.
Well, now the official corrects himself, and it is against Herb Tyler. So it's been that kind of quarter, not only for the officials, but for the Landsharks. There's been so many penalties here in the 3rd quarter. The officials are disoriented, and that time the initial call looked like it was against the Landsharks. But then the official corrected it, and all unsportsmanlike conduct against Herb Tyler. Landsharks look like they're going to decline the penalty, and now the Bayou Bucks will come on to kick it away, which in the NIFL means punt it away.
Dominic Thompson, April Spence, Brian Tendro, we need you.
Well, again, this is another critical kick out of your own end zone. You got to get this thing airborne. You got to get it down here where they're not going to get great field position on you if you're the Bayou Bucks.
Well, it'd be a 58-yard field goal. Winbush is back to receive it. He's going to take it on the fly and return it out past midfield in the Bayou Buck territory, and he'll be tackled at the Bayou Buck 24-yard line. So Stropolo tried to kick it as far as he could on a line because you've got to worry about the roof and the scoreboard. But Winbush was able to catch it on the fly, and he's a speedster, former Kansas Jayhawk, and a nice return past midfield.
Well, it's critical right now that both teams keep their poise, especially the Bayou Bucks here. You know, they've been in 2 offensive possessions in the second half, really hadn't been able to generate a first down. The Landsharks have all the momentum. Robinson's got to get something going for the quarterback position. You can't afford any more turnovers.
Now Jack Phillips is throwing a fit over there on the sidelines. And there is going to be a timeout, or maybe called by the Bucks. We'll see. It was a substitution problem. Rodemeyer is going in on the defensive line for the Bayou Bucks. And number 73, Mick Rodemeyer, is a starting offensive lineman, and he's going to play some defense here. So some confusion, and Jack Phillips not happy. There you see Mick Rodemeyer.
Well, you know, like we talked about at the top of the telecast, it's a little different. You only have 21 guys dressed out. A lot of guys are getting a little winded. You know, you play a whole game on one side of the ball. It's quick action. Your 25-second clock's getting put in play really quick. You got to be ready to roll. And some of these guys are getting winded. You're going to see some substitutions maybe on both sides of the ball.
Rodemeyer, 6'4", 300-pounder out of New Mexico State, and he is an intense guy. Let me leave it like that. I mean, we have seen him. He's a fan favorite in Houma. He really gets the fans fired up and really active on an offensive line. So I'm sure he volunteered to go give the defensive line a break here. The officials getting ready to put the ball back in play. 1:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. It was 27-14 at halftime. Houma led Lake Charles 27-14. Lake Charles took the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter, went right down the field and scored. And that's where we stand, 27-21. Robinson back to pass, has Martin on a little crossing pattern. Martin jukes forward, he fumbles, it's picked up and returned the other way by the Bayou Bucks. That's Emmanuel Bentley, he's still on his feet. And he's down at the 9-yard line. Emmanuel Bentley picks up the fumble by Jermaine Martin and returns it all the way back to the Landshark 9-yard line.
Well, we got bodies all over the place, man. This looks like the road to Baghdad, I guess, with bodies laying all over the place. This is a lot of injuries on this place. I see 2 Landsharks down. It looks like the Bayou Bucks got somebody just slow to get up, too.
Well, Jermaine Martin is down at around the 15-yard line. And then David Winbush is down at about the 12. So 2 of the better players. Now Winbush is on his feet and jagging off, but let's take a look at the replay. Robinson hits Jermaine Martin. Little crossing pass, a nice job to shake the defender Eugene Ridgely, who makes a hard tackle. Martin gets twisted, the ball comes loose. And number 41, Emmanuel Bentley picks it up and with a little convoy action, returns it back down to the Landsharks 9-yard line.
I think the penalty was a face mask on Bentley on the return, so they pick up another 5 yards. First down, Bayou Bucks at the 5.
A bizarre play, as it looked like a completion for the Landsharks, and now the Bayou Bucks have a chance to score. Powers a give right straight ahead to Michael Burks, who takes it down to about the 2.5-yard line.
I'm a little surprised, Ronnie, that the Bayou Bucks haven't used Herb Towle a little bit more in the red zone as a running back. You know, we had an awful lot of success with him a couple years ago. He's a great weapon. He's tough to tackle. I'd look for some kind of maybe a little fake toss bootleg, something around the end here.
Well, he's only been at practice a week. That may have a little something to do with it. Probably not the whole offense in there with Herb. And there's a give once again to Burks on the left side, and he powers in for the score. A fantastic piece of running by Michael Burks, who goes head up with Warren St. Junius, the safety, and wins the battle.
Well, I'll tell you, the officials right now have got to get control of this football game. There's 3 more flags on the field. Looks like some more unsportsmanlike conduct's coming. This thing's getting a little bit out of hand. They got to get their grasp on this thing and start laying out some heavy penalties and maybe throw somebody out of the game just to start setting an example that's not going to happen from here on out.
Well, there's a lot of talking going on back and forth, and the leaders of each team are trying to calm down the fired up players. Not quite sure what the penalty is.
Well, I tell you what, a rule the NIFL ought to look at is you better keep your helmet on the field. These guys are taking their helmets off and things of that such. They need to really, keep your helmet on, have some class, get out there and let's play some ball.
Now that's something that the NFL rather, and especially college football really cracked down on. You're not able to take your helmet off without some kind of repercussion.
Well, and I think
ask Dwayne Rudd about that, the linebacker for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, wasn't that something to blow a football game?
Well, let's take a look at the replay. Herb Tyler takes the snap and just turns around and gives it to Michael Burks. He dances around that left side and then just powers over the safety, Warren St. Junius, into the end zone. And then that's when the flags started flying. St. Junius get pinned up against that Applebee's sign right there. And I think Michael Burks and maybe a few of the Bayou Bucks players wanted to let them know that they scored.
Well, whatever happens in the game tonight, it's obvious that the Bayou Bucks have found a running back in Mr. Michael Burks. He is a powerful young man around the goal line. He smells it. He's a bloodhound. Sometimes you get guys that just have a nose for the goal line, and it doesn't look like they've given him the touchdown, right?
They have not, and they haven't really explained what happened. So the score is not going to count. And it's 1st and goal at the 2.5. Is it a do-over? Michael Burks dances around again and back in the end zone, and this time it's going to count. No flags on the field.
I'll tell you what, that guy is unbelievable down there inside the 3-yard line. What a great run. The Landsharks have penetration in the backfield. He jukes the first guy and has enough speed to get to the corner over there for a touchdown. What a great run.
Michael Burks not to be denied. The same play, a little 360 spin, and then stiffs arm St. Junius, and St. Junius rides Michael Burks back into the end zone. Well, Michael Burks was excited and fired up during that whole timeout where the officials were trying to sort out whatever happened, and they did not explain to us here in the arena. But the Bayou Bucks score anyway, and Chris Stropolo drills the extra point through. So the Houma Bayou Bucks are fired up, and they have scored again and lead at 34-21. A shocker in Lake Charles. Well, Houma leads it by 13. Chris Stropolo drills this ball into the back of the end zone. Jermaine Martin bobbles it a little bit. He takes it out, and he'll be down at the 2-yard line. So the great kick by Stropolo, the bobble by Martin, and very good coverage. And Sullivan, Beard, and Nemesis Bates and others down to keep Jermaine Martin from returning that football. Excellent job by the coverage team.
Absolutely, super job by the coverage team getting there. Good kick by Stropolo, man. He's having one of those nights that everything is just being drilled.
Now, Stropolo had one of those nights a year ago, and he kicked 6 field goals in one game. And that's still a league record. And he's feeling the groove tonight, no question.
How big would a sack be right now for the Bayou Bucks? Well, we're going to have to wait for that sack, right?
Well, it'll be big still in the fourth quarter, but that's the end of the third quarter. Houma Bayou Bucks lead it by 13 in Lake Charles. A little pitch back to David Winbush. And David Winbush picks up about 7 on the play. Bring up 2nd and 3. David Winbush out of Kansas. Played for the Jayhawks 1997 through 2000. The 4th all-time leading rusher with over 2,800 yards at Kansas. And Dale Sayers, John Riggins, that's pretty good company he's keeping.
That is pretty solid company.
He missed the good years, though. Kansas won 10 games in 1995. They didn't win many when he was there. Robinson fires downfield to Verschier, but a little miscommunication. That ball not anywhere near the receiver, incomplete.
Robinson's had a tough night by his standards, no doubt about it. He's used to having much more success throwing the football, really having a difficult time finding open receivers down there. It really looks like he's lost maybe a touch of his confidence right now standing in that pocket.
Now Jack Phillips, the head coach, as you see him right there, he signals in all the calls for offense and defense. He's got a lot of assistant coaches that help him out, but he's the man calling the plays. He gets a lot of input from his assistants, but he has the final say, as all head coaches do. There you see the pass to Verschier and a little 5-yard hitch. A nice job to avoid Terrell Sutton. And Verschier picks up the first down.
Well, the Landsharks have got to score on this drive. They got to score a touchdown, too, not a field goal at this point. They're basically 2 possessions behind. It's 34-21. They've got to try to score, and it'd be a huge stop if the Bayou Bucks could come up with a defensive stand at this point.
1st and 10 for the Landsharks at their own 20-yard line. Robinson back to pass, fires over the head of Whitehead. And Robinson trying to have a word with Whitehead, but that ball was airmailed into the
yeah, I don't know if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could have got that one, Ronnie. That was a little high.
And, you know, Robinson has had a tough night the first half. He was just constantly harassed as the Bayou Bucks applied a lot of pressure. And once you start getting to a quarterback, the ball doesn't come out the same, does it?
No, it does not. And, if anybody can attest to it, it's me.
And another penalty thrown against the Landsharks. Jamie Shiver Jr., the offensive coordinator, beside himself, the official warning him. Let's see what happens here.
I think this is going to be a penalty against the coach. I think he's chewing a little too hard on that official's ear out there, and I think he finally had enough.
Well, we still haven't had the signal. Let's see what it is. And a lot of nothing. What? I mean, how about a signal? They backed the ball up 3 yards, so maybe a little illegal procedure there.
Maybe he just got tired of hearing Coach Shiver and decided to back it up 3. I don't know.
No signal. We saw the laundry thrown and then no signal, so not quite sure what happened right there. But bring up 1st and 13. Landsharks intercepted. Sullivan Beard picks off Robinson, and he'll take it to the house.
What a play.
Sullivan Beard with the hat trick tonight. 3 interceptions.
And he's going to get a flag for taking the football and heaving it as a souvenir here at the Civic Center.
He'll get a flag and then a bill. Because the Landsharks will send him a bill for that football, guaranteed. And a fantastic play. Now, Robinson throws it downfield. He and Verschier have some miscommunication because Verschier doesn't stop. Beard reads the eyes of the quarterback. He played like a zone there and comes up, makes the interception, a nice spin move to avoid the tackle of the quarterback, Robinson, and Beard with a big, big night.
It's a career night for Sullivan Beard. 3 picks, 1 back for a touchdown. He had a chance for the other 2 really to take him to the house. What a super game by Sullivan Beard.
Sullivan Beard, 6 foot, 180-pounder, played his college ball at Nicholls State University. One of the fine defensive backs in the National Indoor Football League, and then what makes him even better than that is that what he can do after he intercepts it. He's also one of the big return guys for the Bayou Bucks. And
well, he's a great offensive weapon. I mean, if he can make plays like that and put his team in a position to score, it's been a super night for Sullivan Beard. 4 tackles, 3 interceptions, and a touchdown. That's almost a career for some DBs.
Hey, and he did it on draft day. Maybe somebody will take notice. Saints will be watching tomorrow. Hey. Stropolo drills about a 25-yard extra point. No problem.
No problem. Hemel's doing a great job getting the ball down, and they are just in a groove tonight. Stropolo, Hemel in the center.
Bucks dominating 41-21. Welcome back to the Lake Charles Civic Center in Lake Charles, Louisiana. 11:29 to go. The Houma Bayou Bucks lead at 41-21 over the Landsharks. The kickoff by Stropolo out of the back of the end zone. So the Landsharks will have it 1st and 10 at their own 5-yard line. And Jack Phillips has got to be excited about the way his team has played tonight, especially defensively. They have been sensational.
Well, anytime you can put pressure on a quarterback early in a ball game and start putting some doubt into that position. Robinson's had a tough night. I know how he feels. I've thrown 4 in a game myself. He's got 4 intros tonight, only completing 33% of his passes in an indoor game.
2 TDs, 4 interceptions by Robinson. He's harassed again. This time he'll tuck it and run a little bit, and this at least picks up positive yardage. Gain of about 3.
Well, the dynamic trio of Green, Thomas, and Reed all night long have looked like track sprinters out there trying to get to Robinson. They have done a heck of a job getting in the backfield.
That time Roger Green on the tackle, and for defensive linemen that go between 280 and 300, they are pretty quick. And for the Landsharks, 3 yards in the clock running is not going to get it. They've got to try to throw it downfield. A completion to Winbush, but then smothered as soon as he catches it.
Good job by Bentley right there. He broke down on him, didn't really go for a quick tackle, broke down, made him shift gears, get his shoulder square to the running back, and made a nice tackle on a shifty Winbush.
Bentley, and then you got some help by Green, a defensive lineman who ran all the way out to the flat and helped make the tackle. So it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Landsharks. Big first down right here. They really need to try to pick up a first down. Find themselves down 3 touchdowns in this ball game. There's a little quick pass out into the flat to Verschier. Now a flag is thrown, so maybe somebody wasn't set. Yeah, offsides against the Bayou Bucks. So
I'm sure that penalty will be declined. They picked up about 7 or 8 good positive yards on that play. They'll decline it, take the yardage, and see if they can get something going here. It's critical now for the Landsharks. They've got to get a quick strike here. The clock is running, and being 3 scores down is going to be tough to make up unless they get a big play quick.
1st and 10 at the Landsharks' own 17-yard line. 9:25 and counting to go in this ball game. The Houma Bayou Bucks trying to hold on, and if they do, it'll be the biggest win of the season. Maybe the biggest win in the franchise's history. Robinson downfield and into the end zone, into the stands rather.
He had Martin going down the boards there. He threw up kind of a wounded duck again and wound up going up into the stands. He's having a tough time. He's lost all his confidence standing in there as a quarterback, no doubt about it.
Now Robinson, usually a guy with his skills, with a wide open receiver like that, would have put it on the money, but that ball kind of fluttered out of his hand and no shot. It'll be 2nd and 10. Robinson 14-0 as the starting quarterback for the Landsharks. Robinson pressured, throws, complete to Winbush, who stiff arms.
See, the number one thing that happens to you, Ronnie, when you start getting pressure at the quarterback position, you almost start looking for pressure. I didn't know if you noticed that time, but Ted Robinson almost starts looking for pressure even when he doesn't have it. Good job getting rid of the football. Another great tackle by Bentley out there.
Andre Reed with the pressure, and then 41 Bentley brings down Winbush.
Bentley's all over the field. He's made some nice open field tackles out there for the Bayou Bucks.
And now Winbush is shaken up. Remember earlier, Winbush was shaken up on the fumble return by Emmanuel Bentley. And right there, he's shaken up again. So the stars for the Landsharks have been shaken up tonight. When you talk about the 3 top offensive weapons, you talk about Winbush and Robinson, the quarterback, and then, of course, number 2, Jermaine Martin, who's all everything in the return game and a wide receiver. All 3 have been hit hard tonight.
Get up for Dave Winbush, walking on here for the Lake Charles Landsharks. Great hustle, Dave.
It seems like a lot's going on. There's only 7:57 left in the game, and really the Landsharks aren't moving the football like they need to get it done to get back in this football game.
Well, number 3, Byron Allen, will come into the ball game to replace Winbush. Allen, 6 foot, 205-pounder, played here last couple of years in college at LSU. Robinson downfield, he's got Martin open. And incomplete.
Let's go, Landsharks.
The Bucks might have got away with a little interference right there. It looked pretty obvious there, a little contact for the ball got there. But the official, in the judgment of the official, we had no flag.
Well, that's, let's take a look at it. It looked like interference live, and whew. Gotta say, if that's not interference, don't know what is.
Yeah, for all the hankies to be on the turf tonight, that was one that probably should have been dropped for sure.
That was a break by the Bayou Bucks, because in the NIFL, that they were 1st and goal at the 1 or 2 on that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So a huge no call. The Bayou Bucks catch a break, and the Landsharks are beside themselves. They're going to take a timeout right here, and we will too, with the Houma Bayou Bucks leading by 20 with 6:48 left to play in Lake Charles.
It's a place to meet. It's a place for fun. It's the Houma Terrebonne Civic Center, a full-service, multi-purpose venue that...
Well, the Lake Charles Landsharks are not happy after the big no call. And on 4th and about 8, they're going to go for it. Robinson back to pass. Pressured, and down he goes. Down he goes, Roger Green once again. And on 4th and 8, Robinson needed a little time to throw the ball downfield and didn't have it because Roger Green made the sack.
Roger Green's had a big night on the defensive line. He really looks like he's in shape out there. He's quick. He's to the ball. It looks like we might have another unsportsmanlike penalty, though. This is getting way out of hand.
Well, Roger Green blew past the center, and then David Winbush tried to block him, the running back, and that was a mismatch. He sacked Robinson, the quarterback, and then after there was a penalty called against the Landsharks for unsportsmanlike, and it may have been against the coaching staff, not quite sure. Well, the officials are trying to explain it, the assistant coaches, but Jamie Shiver Jr. may have been ejected from the ball game.
Yeah, I think he was. I think I saw the head official give the old thumbs out move out there, Ronnie. So I believe Mr. Shiver's gone for the game.
So head coach and defensive coordinator Kip Tejada not happy with what's happened here to his team in the second half. And Herb Tyler now finds himself only 5 yards away from another touchdown. Michael Burks behind Tyler. The give is to Burks on the right side, and he's able to get one, and more importantly, the clock continues to roll for the Bayou Bucks.
You know, you were talking about the slickness of these footballs. Herb Tyler's actually gone to the glove. You mentioned early in the game to me that you thought some of the quarterbacks in the league, because of the kind of newness and slickness of these NIFL footballs, Herb's gone to the glove, Ronnie.
Yeah, I saw one of the balls earlier when the kickers were kicking and picked it up myself, and it's got a big logo on the side. It's a synthetic type leather. It's real slick. And Will Birch, the starter earlier in the season for the Bucks, went to the glove about game 3, and now Herb Tyler's done the same.